Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where last time we got our nuclear power plant running, upgraded the space elevator, unlocked Mark 6 belts, and then automated diamonds and time crystals, and even the fixite trigons. So yeah, pretty big video. I'd highly recommend going back and watching it if you missed it. But that was only the beginning, the test run to make sure that everything was running properly. But right now, the power plant isn't even making half of its designed power, because this power plant was designed to have all of these nuclear reactors fully overclocked. But we need to automate power shards in order to do that. We have only 9 left in the world, and our team of interns has not been keeping up the pace, so we have to do things ourselves. Beyond that, we need to get our production numbers up. Because we have the Mark 6 belts now, we can get more resources, automate more products, and then run more reactors. So first thing is, we need to increase time crystal production. We need the time crystals in order to make the Mark 6 conveyor belts. We have plenty of the trigons, and those time crystals are the issue. You make time crystals by making a particle accelerator and turning coal into diamonds, and then the diamonds in a converter, come on, into the time crystals, which is pretty straightforward, kind of simple. Takes a lot of power, but power isn't an issue right now. It's actually an item thing, where we need 600 coal to make 30 diamonds, and those 30 diamonds only make about 15 time crystals. So what I've been doing is I've been running around the world with this blueprint we made last time, and we're just placing it on coal nodes in order to turn coal into time crystals and then immediately feed them into a dimensional depot so we can build more. And beans! I think you know as well as I do where I can find some coal around these parts, right? Oh yeah. Give me the good stuff. And trees? I think you gotta scoot out of here, brother. Later, nerd. Huh. Anyway, how much coal we got here? I know these are 2 pure nodes and a normal node. Pretty sure. It's 1,200 per minute. Another 1,200 per minute. And another 1,200 per minute. Oh, I thought, wow. Okay, 3 pure nodes. Each of my blueprints here can process up to 480 coal per minute. So 3,600 divided by 480 is a lot of blueprints, okay. Sorry, little Lake Arunski, but it looks like we're gonna have to redevelop a little bit here. But don't worry, this should only be a temporary system. But even as a temporary system, it doesn't have to look bad, does it? I don't think so. Like, look, we're gonna be flying over that a lot, so I'd rather it look better than worse. And speaking of, just while we have a moment, let's just double check our nuclear power plant for a moment. Last time when we're booting things up, there was a little tiny whoopsie daisy hiccup, okay? But I think we fixed it pretty dang well. We ended up with a couple extra barrels of uranium waste, but we're almost done processing it. Looks like most of our other systems are fine. We have enough acid, that was kind of the main problem. Looks good. And our plutonium production is still online and looking fantastic. Good. Then we'll leave the plant alone for a moment and move on. Look, I'm just a little bit paranoid about the whole system because I made a pretty weird whoopsies in its construction that I did not expect. I just want to be a little extra cautious of any other potential issues.
Fix it, elevator. Here to lift you up and to let you down.
Thanks, elevator. But elevators are soon to be past tech. Even hypotube cannons will be obsolete once we get teleporters up and running. Soon. After nuclear power plant, maybe. But no, fixes first. And out of everything that needs to be fixed around our world, the biggest problem, by far, is our aluminum setup down this way. There are just a myriad of issues with it. From not having the correct belts, to having piping issues, to, I don't know, things I don't understand. But we're supposed to be making 12,300 aluminum ingots per minute, and well, we're not. So easy fixes first. We can just upgrade a bunch of belts, and that'll help, though it will take a lot of time. But the bigger problem is, when I built all of this, I did not have a very good understanding of pipes. There are a lot of hidden fluid mechanics in this game that I was just simply unaware of. And in building this, I tried to be quirky. I tried to do some interesting logical things like overflow systems with pipes, with valves, da-da-da. But as you can see, it doesn't really work at all. You would think that if I was bringing all of the bauxite here to turn into aluminum, we wouldn't have completely dead lines. But we do. That's just because all of the fluids continue to back up. Because in aluminum setups, you turn the bauxite into solution. The solution goes into another machine to combine with either coal or, in our case, petroleum coke to make scrap. And then the big thing is you have a byproduct of water. And if you want to be efficient, that byproduct water scoots back into the beginning of the system to start the process again. But I didn't set up my pipes properly. So the water just backs up, and if the byproduct can't get out of the machine here, well, then the whole system stalls. Not good. Because we use the aluminum to make pressure conversion cubes, those cubes make plutonium, and the plutonium fuel rods are what clean up all of our old uranium waste. So if the aluminum system doesn't work, we'll back up on nuclear waste. And so to fix all these weird problems I didn't understand, I consulted my Discord community, which you can access by being a patron or a Twitch subscriber. And here are the cliff notes all about pipes that should be included in the game. Number 1, if there is a pipeline junction in this orientation, it has priority inputs. The bottom is the priority, the middle, second priority, and that's third priority. Then it goes to the output. Next, full pipes are good. If you're ever starting up a system, wait for the pipe to be full of liquid. But apparently a full pipe is more pressurized, so the flow rate is better. Essentially, just before you turn on any system, make sure the pipes are full. Next, if you're building an overflow system with water and pipes, have an elevated buffer at the end of the system. This prevents slushing, where the water goes back and forth and causes weird issues. And finally, specifically in a aluminum setup, you have water as a byproduct. So you want to prevent backflow from clogging up that output. So having a buffer, and then very importantly, having valves will help prevent those issues. And with all of these principles combined, I made a new, superior aluminum system. Some might say it is the zenith of sick designs, where I have included all of the safety precautions literally possible in a good overflow system, where you have your input pipe go through this junction. So if you have this blueprint built next to each other, the input pipe goes in here, goes into the next system, until you'd run out of water. Then the water goes into a vertical pipeline junction, which means this pipe will be the priority, and the input water will be second priority. All of that goes into the first machine, and then the alumina solution scoots on out into a buffer through a valve to prevent backflow into the second part of the machine, which also has a splitter nearby to input the petroleum coke. After that, the scrap and the water go out the other end. Water goes in, out through this way, through a valve, then to a fluid buffer, then to a pump to go all the way back over this way and re-enter the system. As for the scrap, it goes up through a merger and out to space. This is extreme overkill. You really don't need all of this, but I do not want this system to fail. Because although I don't show it much, I am tinkering with these systems in here constantly, and I have spent hours trying to make this little thing work down here with everything failing, and it's been getting very annoying. I upgraded some of the belts, still didn't work, and you know what? It's time to delete it all. I don't care. It doesn't work. Never did really well, anyway. And I've just had enough, so no more. We are going to completely rebuild it. And I don't care how many hours it takes, it just needs to be perfect. Yes, this is unhinged. Yes, this is probably overkill, but I just simply don't care. We need this entire system to work perfectly, but it'll be worth it in the end. And besides, this is just a problem for me. For you, it's just a quick boop, and it's no problem at all. And really, it wasn't even that bad for me. These blueprints are really, really good, and I was able just to spam a couple in a row and let it rip. Pretty much how I made it work was I just kept track of the bauxite, trying to have each row here take 600 each. So the first machine is a little overclocked, takes 300 bauxite. The next machine, 150, and the last one, 150 again. That way, we could just split up our 600 belts and our 1,200 per minute item belts between 1 or 2 setups. So this would be one setup, this is a second, and a 1,200 belt fits nicely into them. Fluid-wise, because of the better water dynamics that I now know of, everything is doing great. We have scrap out the wazoo, which means our aluminum setup is big chillin'. And after tracking every single belt and confirming every single little thing, I went beyond the ceiling, reorganizing all of the output belts and tracking the numbers to make sure that we had exactly the right amount of goods. It doesn't look like there's mission critical issues. And speaking of potential mission critical issues, let's quickly go check on the nuclear power plant. And oh yeah, I turned off the power plant just while we're upgrading aluminum, because if we didn't have the aluminum set up, getting rid of the waste, it would have backed up, would have been bad. No, it looks like we have cleared it all out, which is fantastic. That's because I sent all of the uranium fuel rods into an awesome sink for now. Except without nuclear, we're living on batteries again. So for just a little bit then, I think we'll even just turn off the uranium fuel rod production from our control room here. We know everything works, but we're just gonna use so much more power while we upgrade all the belts and systems. But please don't crash the whole grid with this. Yeah, scary noise is fine. Production's still up, consumption went down, main grid's still online. Everything's fine, yes. So next order of business, now that aluminum should be fixed, is to use all of our new time crystals and Mark 6 belts to upgrade all the rest of the systems throughout our world. For example, these casing belts over here, which we need to make all of our radio control units. But we also can't forget to upgrade all of the pure nodes, because they can actually get 1,200 items per minute out of the ground, and then track all the belts coming from them to our production lines. Then from there, it's just measuring everything possible, making sure that we are actually making the right amount of material, and then spamming all of the Mark 6 belts across all of space and time. Then once that is all said and done, we go back to the nuclear power plant, turn on all the systems, and then see which belts I inevitably missed. Or, if everything just works out great and we have no problems at all, yippee! Maybe. Why is this down? Oh, I see, I turned the whole plant off. That also makes sense, I guess. All right, we're back. It says fused blown, but I don't think that's actually the case. Let's just turn this on. We're good? Big chillin'. Then our win condition is to see our uranium fuel rod production rate is at 50.4 per minute. Because we need to hit that target in order to overclock all of the reactors. And only once we overclock all the reactors can we operate at full power. But for the time being, we flood the system, let it reactivate, and start figuring out a solution to our next problem. Getting all of the power shards to go into the reactors. We have 252 reactors that each need 3 power shards to fully operate. And we have 27 power shards left in the world. I'm gonna guess we're gonna need a little bit more than 27. But fortunately, that is a problem that we can now solve. Because now that we're in phase 4, we can make our own synthetic power shards. Just needed those time crystals, which we have automated out the wazoo. So let's get 200 of them. I think it was some quartz crystals. So start the research. All right, What is it, Ada?
Research completed. Synthetic power shard recipe unlocked. Exchanging regular exercise and filtered fresh air with automation is just the kind of progress Fixit likes to see.
I'm glad my employer understands. But that didn't really answer any of my questions. Like, what's the deal here? How do we make a power shard? Oh, time crystals? Ugh. Dark matter crystals? What? We don't got that. Excited photonic matter? And then we get dark matter residue as a byproduct. Good thing I learned about all of the pipe stuff earlier, ha ha ha. I guess we have some more tech to unlock. How do we get dark matter residue and whatever else stuff was in there? Is it with quantum encoding? It is. Okay, tier 9 quantum encoding. We get the encoder, AI expansion server, the photonic matter, dark matter residue, time crystals, superposition oscillators, and neural quantum processors. Wow, that's a whole lot. Last time we just got into the trigons and I was like, sheesh, this is getting pretty complex there, buddy. If we want to get all the power out of the power plant, about time we figure it out.
Milestone reached. This is not a competition, but other pioneers, such as 83CKY and U531355, had already completed project assembly by this point. Fixit was obviously wrong about you, but perhaps so was I. Regardless, you have finally unlocked the quantum encoder, which requires vast fluctuating power and excited photonic matter to produce highly complex parts. Do not make the same mistakes managing the resulting dark matter residue as you did other byproducts. Project part number 11, the AI expansion server, is now your highest priority. Galaxy-wide project management is taxing to even the most advanced among us, especially those who have to manage the less advanced. Like kittens and puppies, who are definitely still waiting for you to save them.
Ada, that was very, very rude. What do you mean? Does it not take everybody, like, 800 hours to get to this point? Are you trying to tell me that building a power plant of this scale is a little overkill? Because if that's the case, Ada, you have dramatically failed in your hiring process here. But anyway, let's figure out the new tech, the Quantum Encoder. I actually don't really know what's going on with a lot of this stuff, except that we can make the photonic matter out of thin air. That's one thing with 1.0 that kind of surprised me. Dark matter residues here too. It takes my precious Sam? That's rude. And I guess on another good note, that's relatively simple. So then what was the other thing we needed with the power shard there? A dark matter crystal, which also looks kind of chill. It said it needs to be made in the particle accelerator. We don't even need to make it in here. Oh, but the synthetic power shards are made in the quantum encoder. Look at all the lights. Oh my gosh, look at all the power, brother. Excuse me. 2 time crystals, dark matter crystals, quartz. Jeez. We make 5 power shards a minute? Brother, we need 752, was it? Divided by 5? That's one too many minutes. We may have to resort to other means. But first, let's figure all this stuff out. How do we make the dark matter crystal? It's just like the gas, right? Pretty straightforward. Diamonds, dark matter residue, dark matter crystal. Oh, and we make a lot of them per minute. It's 1 diamond per crystal. That's really good. And the diamond recipe, it's just a lot of coal. So wait a second. All in here, all we really need is Sam, quartz, and coal, technically. Where in the world do we have a convenient location with Sam, quartz, and coal? Wait a second. I think I know just the place. All kind of reliable over here. The Turboplex. This has been our main power plant through the entire playthrough up until this point, where the nuclear power plant has come online. I know there is a SAM node lurking underground in this goofy little cave just down over here. There? Yes, right here. Past Kibs went on a big adventure looking for every power slug in the world, and it led me to evil places. I think we're gonna need 2 guns for this one. Ah yes, here's the node. And it's totally pure. Are you for real? Ah! Why are you alive? Oh my gosh, there are so many spiders. This is why I have 2 guns. Ah, die, demons! There's still more. They're in the bushes. They're in the trees. Ah! You're just being a punk. You just saw all of your brethren fall. And did you really think it's gonna go much better for you? Okay, back to this. We can make our Mark III miner. Unfortunately, even if fully overclocked, don't really get a lot of goods out of it. An impure node only can get us 300 material per minute. We gotta work with what we got. Or no, wait a second here. If I want more, then I can simply get more. Bad news though, this node is only 300 per minute as well, but it was close by at least. So after scooting around and collecting a handful of quartz, and borrowing some excess coal from our power plant by upgrading some miners and belts, we have everything we need to make power shards. Now again, it's just how do we do it? Well, step 1, at least 1 particle accelerator. This will make our diamonds. Then we can have one next door, making the dark matter crystals. Just takes the diamonds and a little bit of dark matter residue. Dark matter residue that just takes a handful of SAM, which we can throw into the converter here. How much SAM did we even need? 50 for 100? Oh, it's 2 to 1. So if we have 600 SAM, that means we could have 1,200 dark matter. Okay, maybe 300 was actually enough in the beginning there. No matter, having more is always a good thing. Then in the Quantum Encoder, did we need the diamonds or did we need the time crystals? We needed time crystals, right? Yeah. So I guess some of the diamonds will go into here to be turned into dark matter crystals, and the others will be converted into the time crystals. Easy peasy. And since we have so much quartz, we just need some quartz crystals, which just requires a couple of refineries. But at least in this area, when we use the pure quartz crystal recipe, there is a good supply of water nearby. Lastly, the excited photonic matter. Obviously, the most difficult thing in the entire game. Made from thin air. That should be the whole enchilada. Just have to figure out some of the ratios and build, oh my gosh, every bin ever. And I'm not even being that sarcastic about that. We're probably gonna end up turning off this system at some point, and when we do, I wanna be at the point where we never have to think about power shards again. And after connecting up this system, oh buddy, we cannot run this forever because I decided to fully overclock it and then even put in some Sommer sloops. And after all this input, that's just a cool 27,000 megawatts for the one machine. 27,000. Oh man, I am glad we got that nuclear power plant running because wowee, wow. That is unbelievable. Well, is it though? We're using dark matter stuff. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And it works fast. It's moving and grooving because I overclocked everything I possibly could to make this system run as fast as possible. So from the top, quartz, so we're making thousands of quartz crystals. Those go to the end system. Excited photonic matter, we're just making as much as we really need, which is 200 per minute to keep this thing going. And for the dark matter residue, we're making 75 per minute because we had a little bit of a thing going over here with the byproduct. Because when everything's overclocked like this, the byproduct problem gets a lot more intense. So because of our pipe knowledge, we just send this all down this way in the cool chrome pipes, look at it go, into a giant buffer, and then just with a valve that goes into a priority junction. So this is the higher priority, this is the lower priority. We have some of the dark matter residue that enters the system to top it off, and then the byproduct runs the rest. Then I overclock things and loot them, so we use 375 dark matter residue per minute. I'm using a heck of a lot more power than I kind of want to, but at least the system doesn't stall. That's kind of the hard part. Oh, and then we needed so many diamonds, right? So, par for the course, overclocks, loops, 120 diamonds per minute, 1,200 coal per minute in one particle accelerator. And then some of the diamonds are split over to make some time crystals. We only needed a couple of them though, only 25 per minute. So does this need to be slooped? Does it really need to use 1600 megawatts? Probably not, but we also can, right? So why not? We need the power shards, and at least for now, we have plenty of excess capacity. And this helps us achieve our immediate goal even faster, because now we have to get our 700 power shards, and holy, what the? Making 25 of these per minute, 100% efficiency? Sheesh. This is after taking a couple and putting them into these machines already, like, oh my gosh, this is gonna take no time. Well, I'll give it a couple hours anyway, because there's a lot of tinkering I have to do around the world. One major thing being is I needed to upgrade all of my train systems, adding in more locomotives and more trains, and then using both of the output belts for the 1200 per minute lines. Because moving 1,200 items per minute is a logistical nightmare. Requires multiple trains, multiple belt outputs, many storage containers, and a lot of belt monitoring. But after doing this, our aluminum setup is working like 100% efficiently. Whereas before, there's some little hiccups here and there. Another big thing was back at the nuclear power plant, there's a lot of like little systems I needed to upgrade, like the balancers. And then just checking some of the belts to make sure they're actually running properly. So our machine's uptime is very, very high. So now everything is looking great. And I am pretty sure that our uranium fuel rod production is maxed out. We needed the 50.4 per minute, right? And we are at 72. It's not 72. It goes all over the place, right? But on average, it's looking like we've hit our target. Meaning we can overclock all of these nuclear power plants and run them consistently. Maybe. I suppose the factory needs a little bit longer for all of the uranium fuel rods to back up here. But yeah, for the most part, there's no big problems anymore. Just everything needs to be upgraded and monitored. And then the real test will begin once we have the power shards, which would be precisely right now. Yep, we're looking pretty good on power shards. And we are ready for the final battle. Is our systems ready? I have no idea. Right now, we're probably making, well, less than half of the amount of nuclear waste that we should be. So overclocking everything will make this a lot more insane. The stress test of all stress tests. But I'm really excited because also we are gonna make a heck of a lot more power. Right now, we're not even making half of the potential, because when we fully overclock these reactors, they go from making 2,500 megawatts to 6,250 per reactor. Oh boy. We are going to have every single megawatt in the world, so long as nothing breaks, which it won't. We've tested things, we found problems. It'll be fine. We're just gonna sit back, relax, and watch that power graph jump up. Or sorry, fly up. Already past 500,000 megawatts? 600,000 megawatts? And even crazier, look at this. We have a couple alien power augmenters, and those alone, because they're a percentage of our production, is higher than all of our consumption. Well, pretty much. Oh, how far we have come from moments ago when we're worried about running on battery power and preserving megawatts and shutting down machines. Brr, 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 brr. Oh, such humble times, forever gone, as we clear 700,000 megawatts, with many, 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 many more reactors to go. And after a few more minutes, all of the power shards are in, the waste is being produced and looking horrifying, but we should be at max power. Super, super, super quick before we check the power. Let's just see that the waste is still moving. It's still moving. I'll have to monitor this over a couple hours, but this is very, very good, at least getting started. But anyway, enough of all that jazz. The most important thing, how much power are we making right now? 917,000 megawatts. Yep, that's a little bit overconsumption right now. We're looking pretty good. And even better, it's looking pretty stable. However, I don't think we're gonna make it to the million. Not with uranium. But you know, if we burnt some plutonium fuel rods, we'd get there pretty quick. but then we'd stack up on tons of plutonium waste that we couldn't get rid of. But once we have the proper processes in, maybe we can look into it. But for now, I think we'll be fine with like 900,000 megawatts. And with all that power, and infinite power shards, we can finally start properly playing the game and going after our major objective, using all the power on our mega space elevator part factories, which will end up using most of the resources in the whole world. However, that'll all kick off next time, as long as everything keeps running properly. But in the meantime, I have released my Satisfactory world save to Patreon and Discord. So if you're a Twitch or Patreon supporter, you can join my Discord, download this world and all of my blueprints, and mess around with stuff to your heart's content. So I hope you have fun, and until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.